Guys.
Today is going to get controversial.
I mean,
grab your triggers.
Can it get too soon, Shane? Too soon.
Right. No. Okay. Okay. Let me explain before we. Okay. Oh my God. I have a lot to say.
You are very excited.
I have a lot of notes written down. So Blaire White is my favorite YouTuber, and here's why. And this is a very controversial opinion.
Okay.
So, do you know who this is?
I thought it was the chick from The Exorcist for a minute.
What?
Linda Blair.
Oh Lord. Okay.
You know me and the YouTubers.
Okay. So Blaire White is this YouTuber. She's transgender, calls herself a tranny, and she makes political videos. So I'm not even into politics, but her videos, the titles are "Black Lives Matter is trash." Why trannies are too easily triggered. I can't think of them off the top of my head. They're crazy titles, but then you watch her videos and she makes good fucking points. And she's not like offensive, like she's not like crazy offensive or anything. It's not like a Trump situation. Her points are really fucking good. And like I'll show one of her videos to a friend who's really like liberal, I guess is the word. I'm bad at politics. And they'll be like, listen, like I kind of disagree with her, but she's really good at those. Like I kind of am buying it.
Well, that's good.
So like she would talk about all the points of why Black Lives Matter is kind of like not real. It's kind of like a propaganda weird thing and whatever. Like it's very interesting.
Okay.
So I don't know. I have a lot of opinions about it, but I'm excited for her to like go in and people are going to go crazy.
Are they?
We're going to get some tweets.
Okay.
And I'm okay with it, girl.
Let's do it.
I'm ready for a little controversy.
Let's bring it. I'm glad at least it's someone else's controversy this time, not me.
Me too.
Let's do it.
It's interesting though because like I've been trying to stay away from controversial stuff in the last like 5 or 6 years because I did have my moment.
Yeah.
And I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to be like the person who offends people. But I do find these types of videos interesting where people just have no filter.
Well, I think that's real.
Even if I disagree, it's like at least like a crazy grandma has no filter. And like a crazy grandma could say some crazy shit, but you still love them.
That's what I want to be when I grow up.
You already are that.
That's true. Just give me that Chardonnay and that leopard print, queen. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be fun.
All right. I'm excited.
First, let's talk about your life. I feel I don't know much about your life. I feel like you've been secretive lately. I want to know, like, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm just living. I'm being me.
So, like, dating.
I'm not being in your short film, that's for sure. I'm not making a Christmas album with you. That's what I'm not doing. If you know what I'm not up to.
Yeah, no, you dropped some hints. I know.
It's just like I got the hook or whatever. I'm bum.
Right. Well, that's sad that you haven't been doing anything. I've been doing so much.
Yeah, what have you been doing? This is Shane and friends, all right? So let's see what you're doing. How's your man? How's your everything?
I've been raising a puppy.
That's right.
Which is a fucking nightmare.
What did you name it?
Uno.
Uno?
Uno.
Like the card game?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Everybody says, like, the number one, and I go, no, you fucking idiot. Like the fucking card game.
Wild card, bitch. Skip
like
the turn, bitch.
Uno, bitch. Reverse,
you
bitch.
You should teach the puppy how to play Uno.
That would be everything.
Right?
Oh my God, the fact that I haven't taken a picture of the puppy playing Uno is crazy.
Hello, product placement.
Hello, Halloween curse term. No, oh my God, by the way, I don't think, did I talk about Hostess sending me? I did.
Yes.
But
my God.
I didn't give you an update.
No, the update. Because that was just like, they were like, yo, did you get the package?
I got the package. They sent me a huge box filled with Hostess treats. The biggest box I've ever seen in my life. And they gave me a Twinkie shirt.
No.
They gave me Twinkie merch, which is weird because Hostess has so many treats. And I don't know why, like, they're going with Twinkie. Like, that's the main bitch. When in reality, we all love a good Hostess cupcake.
Yeah, like, where's the cream filling?
You know what I mean?
I do.
Anyways. Or, like, where's the ding dong at?
Maybe they're just like,
Blaire
like,
White.
90s are coming back. Maybe they're trying to, like, bring back the Twinkie.
Right. Well, they're bringing it back, and they brought it all over my shirt, and I was ready for it.
I bet.
But here's the thing. So then I have my agent reach out to them because I'm like, they are trying to get a brand deal, right?
Something.
A sponsor.
Something.
So then they tweet it. Somebody goes, oh, are you sponsored by Twinkie, by Hostess? And then Hostess writes back, no, he's not yet, ... So then I'm like, bitch, give me that quaint.
All day.
So then.
Spokesperson quaint.
So then
Hello.
So then my agent calls and she's like, so, you guys want to sponsor Shane? Because like he loves Hostess and he's fat, you know what I'm saying? And then they're like, oh, we don't do that.
What?
I'm like, girl. What?
How are you going to set it up with a yet?
How you going to ... yet, me bitch?
They love the ... by the way.
They love the ... at hostess.com.
What? They said
not
no?
Spawn. No, and then like, we don't really do product placement. And I'm like, girl, you sent me the world's biggest box of Hostess, which by the way, bitch.
Is it gone?
I gave it to some friends because I could not have it in my house.
Yeah.
But their coffee cake is crazy. Have you ever had it?
I forget about that coffee cake.
No,
You're right.
I'm not a coffee cake girl.
It's good.
But this coffee cake, was crazy. Mm-hmm. And then I had some frosting in my cupboard left over from a video I did.
Did you say a cupboard?
Cupboard.
Hello, 1920.
What do you call it?
A fucking cabinet.
Really?
A cupboard. It's
Well,
like it feels like there's like a witch in the belfry.
But I got frosting out of my cupboard and went and I sat on my Davenport with my.
I quit.
with my little treat.
Oh man.
No. So I dipped that shit in frosting, bitch, and then, oh my god, it was everything. Oh, it was killing. It was crazy. Anyways, that's what I've been doing.
So back to Uno. How's it having being a puppy?
I ate him. No, Uno's been a fucking nightmare. We hired a trainer to come every day when I'm gone, and by when I'm gone, I mean I'm still sleeping. And the trainer was like, oh, this is going to be great. I fucking love Uno. I love puppy breath. I'm fucking all over this dog. And then I come home to a note. And the note was like, hi. So Uno's great. Love him. Very cute. Peed everywhere. He's a challenge. So this is really going to be difficult. And then the next day she's like, I'm sick.
What?
I'm like, girl, what? I know that trick.
Where'd you get her? Craigslist?
I've had enough babysitters quit on me.
Thank you. Hello.
To know.
I've given enough of them excuses.
One time, I had a babysitter once when I was like 8, and I don't remember exactly what happened. This ties back to my being molested, but I don't know who it was. It's a faceless person in my memory. Anyways.
Third book.
Faceless molester.
There you go.
So I don't know how it happened, but I ended up butt naked in my top bunk of my bed, covered in stuffed animals, slapping my ass. And all I remember is the babysitter running out, leaving, calling my mom and saying I needed help. So, hello.
That's some dark shit,
Isn't
Shane.
it? I don't know what it means. What does that mean? Was I like, what was I doing?
Yeah.
Putting on a puppet show?
Were you sleepwalking? Putting on a puppet show?
I don't know.
Just like an X-rated puppet show with all your fucking stuffed animals.
At like 8 years old, though, you're not sexual, so I'm not like, yeah, fuck me, baby.
Did you see someone else do that, you think?
That's what I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking whoever molested me. This is like a thriller.
Wow. Yeah.
My life is a fucking lifetime thriller. Whoever molested me must have done a puppet show or had stuffed animals.
Maybe that's how they got you in.
Right.
Instead of a lost puppy. Like, hey, I lost my puppy. I'm going to kidnap you.
If you're trying to molest me, you better bring some food.
You better bring all them
Hostess has the right idea. They brought that box. Girl, you can get all up in my pants without box.
Oh my God.
You want my Twinkie? Give me a Twinkie.
That's right.
You want to get on my ding dong? Give me a ding dong.
Oh my God, I'm living for all these Hostess fucking references right now. It's amazing.
Oh my God. We're already getting angry tweets about this episode. It's fine. I was molested. I can talk about it.
And he's not sponsored yet.
By what?
So Hostess.
Oh, by molesters.
By molesters.
All the molesters in the world are like, we love that Shane's our spokesperson. We feel like he brings a realness to it. I was thinking
Molesting lives matter.
Jesus.
It's a movement.
Molested lives matter.
That's true.
Wait, molesters matter.
Everybody matters. Everybody matters.
No, they don't. Molesters are bad.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Maybe Blaire disagrees.
Okay, let's find out.
Let me write that down.
So molestation. How do you feel
I'm
about
actually
it?
going to write that down. I want to see if she disagrees with us. Because
right.
I do have a theory about molesters.
What is it?
Well, I feel not molesters, but pedophiles. We've talked about this. How I feel bad for them.
That's all right.
If they don't act on it, I feel bad for them.
Well, it's just hard to be in. It's like you're in a jail of just like, these
like,
thoughts.
what if you're attracted to like animals?
It's called bestiality.
It is a thing. Bestiality matters. And also, by the way, I don't want to sound like we're making fun of Black Lives Matter.
No, we're
Black
not.
Lives
Absolutely not.
do matter.
And it's a movement.
Chill, Twitter.
Hello.
Hello. I don't know what that was. Oh, great. I say that right after Black Lives Matter, and that looks like I'm being racist. Guys, by the way, when I see Medea, I don't see a color. You know what I mean?
I see just like...
I see a comedian.
So
if I talk like her, I'm not imitating a black person. I'm being Medea, my queen.
My queen.
I actually don't like Medea.
I live for it.
Tyler Perry, I think, is very talented, but that character I can't.
Oh, no, I can't.
It's not a character. It's Tyler Perry in a wig. Some of his characters are characters, but then that one, I'm like watching him and I'm like, that's Tyler Perry in a wig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not full commitment.
Yeah, but like sometimes it's full commitment. But they got deep storylines.
Really?
Medea,
Medea
it makes you like pull on your heartstrings.
Like molested at 7 with stuffed animals?
Yeah, like slapping ass in the top bunk naked. Like rolling.
Hello. And then Medea walks in. What you doing?
Hallelujah. You slapping yours. That's a good slap.
Jeez, this show is getting...
Lord.
We're going in.
We're going
in.
And
it just started.
Yes.
Wait, okay. So last time, or not last time, it's been a long time, but I don't even know what date it is. But we're kind of incorporating new topics and just talking about them openly, okay? So, okay. Let me see. I have so many written down. Ooh, okay.
I love your prep work.
Thanks. If you had a clone, what would you want to do with it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You know?
Ooh.
All my answers are dark.
If I had a clone.
If I had a clone. The first thing I would do is just stare at it and walk around it in a circle because I've never seen what I look like. Oh. Instead of like a mirror, I want to see what I look like.
And that's a good point because even if you look in the mirror, I feel like you get a skewed version of what you look like.
Yeah, you don't know. Guys, by the way, if you want to see what I look like, go to fullscreen.com or download the Fullscreen app. But don't look too close.
And don't circle.
Do not circle. That's why I could never be on like Big Brother or something. There's too many angles.
Way too many angles that are not approved by Shane Dawson.
We have a table covering our legs for a reason.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so that's what I would do. That's the first thing I would do. What's the first thing you would do?
I think the very first thing I would do, I would probably teach the clone how to like do an efficient hair whip because that's like my signature move.
I get it.
You know?
Yeah.
And then I'd probably just put that bitch to work because I'm busy.
Right. Are they dumb though? Like, are clones like us? Is a clone gonna be like, no, I'm not the clone, you're the clone? Or is the clone like, duh?
I wouldn't want a duh clone. Right. Like, don't bring me a dumbass clone. I don't have time for that.
Oh my God, dumbass clone, the new Tyler Perry movie? I'm ready.
Yeah.
Is that me? Yeah. No, the clown there. Oh, that's everything.
Glurt.
$100 million fucking dollars first night. Okay, so the second thing I would do, I don't think I'd have sex with it.
I was going to say, you're going to fuck it.
I know that sounds obvious, but I don't think I would. Because I think in my imagination, the idea of having sex with myself sounds great. But I think if I saw it and I circled, I'd change my mind.
You ain't never having sex again.
Never.
Never.
So I guess the second thing I would do is beat it up. Fucking stab that motherfucker.
And kill it?
No, that's later. That's
is
like
it killable?
Later.
Is it like a human or is it like immortal?
No, it's a
Is it a robot?
It's a person. No, it's a person.
Oh.
Like they took a sample of you and they didn't tell you. And then, have you seen the movie The Island? It's so good.
No.
Like Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. Damn, I just pulled those names out of my fucking head. They are on an island and they think they're like, they're like, oh, and then whatever. That didn't make any sense. It's
clones?
like Hunger Games, right? They're clones. But they don't know that. They think they're just like chilling on this island. And then one day they're like, oh, you got to go to civilization and like see your mansion. They're like, girl, we go to civilization. But then they realize that they are just going there because they need to get opened up because their owner needs their parts because their owner is them. You know what I mean? So that'd be like if I'm like, oh shit, my arm fell off. Call up my clone, have them come from paradise, give me that arm, and they're dead.
Oh, that's
that
actually
made no sense,
a good idea, though. Like if you back up, like harvest an organ.
Thinking. But the clones are smart.
Would you make your clone have a bigger penis?
I like my penis. I've come to terms.
I'm very proud of you for that.
No, I do like my penis. This week I had a couple moments of like really liking it.
Good
and
for
being
you.
like, wow, she's great. Hello. Hello.
Bravo, Shane. Every time I see you, just making more improvements, and I'm just very proud of you for that.
Next up, balls.
Okay.
No, I love my balls.
You do.
Balls are my thing.
Yeah.
Balls
are great.
Balls are great.
They're fun.
Anyways. Okay, so that's the first thing you do with your clone. Interesting. I have another question, and this is something I don't know if you've ever talked about before. Have you ever talked about your relationship with smoking?
My relationship with smoking?
Cigarettes.
No, not really.
Do people know you smoke?
I think so.
Really?
I mean, I don't think it's hard to tell with this rasp.
I don't think.
I have a battle with it. I'm really trying to quit, and it's very hard.
Okay, so how long have you been smoking?
I mean, honestly, like my first cigarette was like at like 13 off the ground, like with the friends, and like let's like smoke this butt in the park because like our parents aren't around and we're gonna pretend to smoke and like not inhale it. And like I grew up in the age where like candy cigarettes were a thing. So at like 7 years old, I'd be getting like a fig pack of Lucky Strikes from the bubblegum store, and like it's like it's there and you blow it out and there's smoke. Like I don't know, I grew up like thinking like smoking was cool.
Me too.
Like,
I grew up thinking that I still like the smell of cigarettes, and I know that's like controversial. Hi, welcome to the controversial episode. But I love the smell of cigarettes, like going to casinos, going to like your car, which is like actual cancer fucking in the AC. I love that smell. I love the smell of an old person smoking. It's interesting. I like the look of it. I think it looks cool. But I would never do it because I'm an addictive person. It would kill me.
And that's my problem. I'm an addictive person. And I think like starting in college is when I really like picked it up. And honestly, like if I go to a doctor and they're like, do you smoke? I'm like, no. Like I don't.
You lie?
First of all, I would never go to a doctor. But I also just like don't see myself as a smoker. Like I don't want to be. I know it's weird. Like I like it. And obviously I do. But like I don't I'm a very hand-mouth person. Like, I have oral fixation.
Why don't you switch it to food or blow pops?
Girl, I'm not trying to gain 10,000 pounds and lose all my teeth.
Have you tried those electronic cigarettes?
I've tried the vape, and I don't want to substitute that behavior. You know, I want to either, like, get it out of my brain. I want to I think I need, like, I'd rather get cancer than cancer get me, you know? But, no, it's not good. It's not healthy. I am trying to quit. It's extremely difficult for me. I've been getting better. There's some days where I'm like, yes, no smoke, and I don't want to do it, and I don't smoke. I find it's a boredom thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm busy and I'm kind of working all day and not thinking about it, I don't necessarily need it. I'm not like, I need a fucking cigarette right now. Right. But I think I just need, like, a hypnotist.
Okay.
And, like, get it out of my brain. That would be awesome.
They could hypnotize you.
That would be great. I'm going to write that down.
They could hypnotize you to stop smoking. They could hypnotize me. What would I want?
Ooh.
I mean, I love my penis now, so I don't need that.
Yeah. How do you feel still about, were you, like, super obsessed with working out?
Yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with that still, but I'm in that weird phase where, like, my body's never changing, so I'm just like, whatever.
And you're also growing up. Like, as soon as I turned, like, 30, I just honestly, like, learned to accept myself, and I stopped giving fucks. Right. And it's cool.
Yeah, I feel like when you're in your 20s, so kids, listen up. When you're in your teens and your 20s, I think body and looks and abs and all that stuff are, like, important to people. Once you're almost 30, people are more interested in, like, are you successful? Do you have a job? Are you motivated? Are you this? And you're more attracted to that.
Absolutely.
In your 40s, like, oh, I'm going to... Bye.
See ya.
Goodbye.
Hello.
I'm gonna look like Medea.
That's
and I don't
right.
give a fuck because I'm successful.
And it's okay.
And you're smart and you're interesting. So, like, yeah, I feel like I'm definitely less, I don't care as much. In my early 20s, all I wanted was a thin, skinny, six-pack body.
Right.
And now I'm like, meh.
I'm like, all right. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'd rather just drink a six-pack, you know?
Me. Speaking of drinking and smoking and having a body.
Yeah.
Favorite time. God made a mistake.
Oof, bitch.
Okay. I want, because we've teased this before, but we didn't really do it again. Wait, what was it again?
I know.
Oh.
Remember? What was that theme song?
You want to be on time?
It's Tyra time.
Okay. So we have Farrah Abraham time / Tyra Banks time.
Yes.
Now,
the Tyra Minute, I think we called it. Right?
I don't think so. I love that, though.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
So what are you going to pull out of the Tyra piggy bank?
So basically, I have some quotes here. Ones that Tyra has made and ones that Farrah Abraham has made.
Ooh, I'm ready.
And I'm going to kind of read them off, and then you can guess who says what.
Who said what?
How do you feel about that?
Fucking ready.
Okay, so I have two spreadsheets, so I'm just going to circle, 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 and when you say stop is when I'll stop, and I'll read that one.
Stop.
Okay. Here we go. After years of utilizing plastic surgery for positive changes in my life, I've seen it help me as a person and help me live my life.
That's Farrah.
Ding, ding.
That's fair because it kind of didn't make sense at the end. Like, Farrah always, you know what's interesting about Farrah? Remember that woman who had a stroke on camera? She was like, hi, I'm right outside of the Staples Center where the apples and the bananas. Right? I feel like Farrah's the same way where she starts strong.
Strokes out.
For the first 3 words, and then it starts slipping, and then she's like, where'd she go?
Right.
Like,
you got to do, like, the taps. Isn't that, like, the time and then something about your face? I don't know. There's, like, a method to recognizing strokes. We'll look that up. All right, ready? Here we go. Tell me when to stop. All right. A lot of young girls think that the opposite of fake is rudeness. And just as ugly as fake is, so is saying whatever is on your mind because it's the truth.
That's hard. You know, that's Tyra.
Yeah.
You know why? Because that bitch talks in circles.
Straight up.
She never, and I love Tyra, but she never, like, her sentences go around and around. So it's the opposite of Farrah. I feel like Tyra is just finding her light. You know what I mean? Like, she had a stroke and now she's coming out of it. So she's just saying, like, every word she's ever remembered. And, like, it kind of makes sense, but it goes on for too long. Like, that's what it's like. So her and Farrah, if you put them together, that's the perfect stroke. Perfect stroke.
It takes perfect strokes. Oh my God, with Farrah and Tyra is like the new Bounty Ball compliment. I love that. My Costellati. Oh no, wait, Perfect Strokes? That's a different show. Perfect Strangers, I was thinking. Right. All right, you ready for another one?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Here we go. There is three key things for good photography: the camera, lighting, and Photoshop.
That's Tyra.
Yeah.
That made too much sense. Farrah would be like, there is 3 things for photography: dick,
anal,
my asshole,
and lube,
and $100. I would need you to leave it in my asshole.
That's amazing.
When you leave.
Thank you.
Okay, give me another one.
All right.
I love this game.
This is fun. Okay, ready? Here we go. I think God is my manager. God is my guide. Because within entertainment,
That's fair. Keep going.
I can't control anyone. I
Right.
can't pay somebody enough.
Right.
God really, really has helped me be the best person I can be.
Ring, ring, ring. Oh, sorry, I'm Farrah. Oh, my phone's ringing. Just a second. Hello? Hi, it's God. Oh, hi, God. Yes, I was thinking about my frozen yogurt shop and... Right. No, that's great. I'm very happy for you and your yogurt shop. So here's the thing, Farrah. Yeah, what's going on? I've decided to go separate ways. Oh, what do you mean? Well, I'm actually leaving the management company. And I'm going to be handing you over to my other friend. Oh, like, what's his name? His name is... My name is Satan. I'm going to fuck you with my fucking huge, red, scary dick.
Bend over, bitch.
Oh, okay, like, honestly, I'm happy for you. I'm glad that you're moving on. This is really exciting for you. And honestly, I'm excited for my next move with Satan.
I can't wait to be the best person I can be. Hello. That was a great dialogue right
You're
there.
welcome.
That was amazing.
All right, one more.
All right, here we go. I love the confidence that makeup gives me. Could go either way.
It's really hard. Okay, this is a good finale because I feel like Farrah believes that but couldn't say that because she'd be like, I love my makeup, my face, my hair, my face. Like, and then she'd stroke.
Strokes out.
Now, Tyra, I feel like probably said that a long time ago, and now if she was asked about it, she'd be like, I didn't mean that when I said that, because what I meant was blah, 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 and then go in circles.
The confidence that exudes out of my personal being.
So I'm going to say Tyra.
Bravo!
Boom.
You're
I'm
good.
I know my banks, bitch.
Wow. That's the name of the segment.
Know my banks.
Done.
No, bitch, bank statements.
Bank statements. Yes. Write that shit down. Hashtag bank statements. Girl. That's amazing. Hashtag bank statements. I'd rather see those bank statements than mine, be honest.
Oh my God, wait. And then Farrah's bank statements, it's just, you have syrup.
Yeah. You are overdrawn. Alert.
You shouldn't have bought 5 yogurt chops.
Yeah. Did you also see, there's another thing with her yogurt shop. She was like trying to explain to her employees how she's going to have to like, at the Froco, like, yeah, you'll be working full time. Where do I have it? I have it down here. And they're like, trying to calculate hours. She was trying to be a boss. It was hilarious. She was like, you could be here a lot, like 40 hours. It's like 3 days out of the week, really? Like, I Googled that shit. First of all, like the yogurt shop isn't even open like that many hours in a day.
Like 12 hours.
It's from 11 to 9 p.m. So it's like there's a 12 hour. Like you can't work because it came out to 13.3 hours. If you work 3 days and 40 hours, I'm like, bitch, you dumb as fuck. You don't never work. You trying to be a boss.
I love her,
dumbass.
but I hate her. Ooh, we should ask Blaire what she thinks about her.
Okay.
Oh, why did I write down Blaire? I meant to write down Farrah.
I almost said Tyra. I was like, who are we?
And
Where
Tyra.
are we again?
Guys, we're going to take a short break. I'm going to go pee. When we come back, we have Blaire White. I'm so excited. Get ready to get triggered. Get ready to get offended. But get ready to honestly have your mind blown because she's kind of everything. See you soon. I'm triggered. Warning. Guys, Blaire fucking White is here.
Hi. Welcome, Queen.
I love you. I'm so excited. I am fangirling. I know okay, I'm nervous. I'm nervous because your videos are actually, I watch every single video you post. And when you post a new one, I'm like, fuck, I'm on it.
Oh my God.
And I get so excited when some of your titles. Like, what was the most recent one? It was like Fat Acceptance. What was it?
Fat Acceptance is Stupid. That's not my most recent one, though.
Oh, right.
That was like 2 weeks ago, right? And
The recent one is Islamic Apologists for Cancer. That was
all right. Let's get into it.
Okay.
But it's so funny that you say that because I feel like, because this has been in the making for like a month, me coming here, and I've been like a bunch of videos since then, and I feel like this might be the one I post. And Shane's like, this bitch is off the show. She can't come. So it's good.
Yeah. If anything, here's why I like you. I like you because you don't have a filter, but also you're smart and you have points and you do research and you know what the fuck you're talking about. Even if somebody disagrees with you, it's like, oh, well, her points, you know, she has points and stuff. There's a lot of people on YouTube that make videos like you, actually not really like you, the opposite of you. So I guess what would that be, like liberal videos? I'm really bad with terms.
Like super feminist-y videos.
Yeah, right.
Like that, yeah.
And they don't really have points. They're just kind of like women are better. It's like they don't really.
They have like the same points over and over.
Ranting or
you have like
raving.
laid out points, which I appreciate in a debate video.
Thank you.
And I watched like me and my friend one night. We like literally watched like 20 of them in a row. We would not stop.
Oh my God, I think I only had like 20.
I know. We watched all of them.
Wow.
And then every time I have another friend come over, I'm like, you gotta see this YouTuber. And then I show them, and they're like, oh, I can't watch this. That title, that's crazy. And then they watch it, and they're like, I kind of love her. I'm like, I know.
Because that's the thing. I feel like so many people judging just off the titles will say like, oh, she's a troll.
Right.
But I feel like trolls don't like do research. So that's the difference, really.
Trolls don't do research.
Yeah.
I like that.
So before we like get in, I want to talk more about you. And okay, so you're transgender, which I did not know when I first started watching.
Okay.
Like I got like 3 videos in, and then you said something about being a tranny, and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh fuck, and then I went in. Okay, so you're transgender. When did this happen? What age? Well, how old are you right now?
I'm 23.
23. Okay.
I'm 23.
I know it's very well. I'm almost 30, so
I got a decade on your ass, bitch.
Okay, I feel good again.
We got this. Yeah, I feel
Okay.
good. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, wait. So you're 23. When did you know? Were you one of those people who says like, I knew the second I came out of the pussy, I was like a girl?
No, it was probably around like 5 years old.
Okay.
When, I mean, to say I knew is a little bit weird to say because I feel like I knew I was different and there was something just about my essence that was a little bit limp-wristed, but like really limp-wristed. But it wasn't until I came probably around age 17 where I was like, okay, I have to do something about this.
Right, okay.
Because I feel like I'm not going to age as my birth sex. That doesn't work for me, so I have to do something.
Right.
And so it actually took me like 2.5 years to really commit and get the money and do what I have to do. And I've really changed my life since then.
So what's the process? So like, okay, I'm trans. Well, this is my coming out. No, I'm 5. I'm like, I'm trans. But then they're like, not yet. Oh, we'll get to Gigi in a minute. So I'm trans. Now I'm 17 and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Like I'm fucking ready to trans out. Like, what's the process?
Telling my mom, first of all.
Right. How does she react to that?
You know what's so funny? Every other person but her was like, oh, I already knew you were like going to come out or something.
As trans?
Yeah, because I'd actually been presenting like very feminine before I came out as trans. Sorry. But she just started crying. She wasn't upset or anything, but she was kind of like, I wish you would have told me sooner. And my dad had passed away before that, so I didn't have to come out to him, thank God.
Right.
That sounds horrible. My dad died, thank God.
Thank fucking God. Dad gone.
Yeah.
Trans.
Bye. But honestly, it was great. And she was like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to help you, support you, and get you through it. So it was great in that aspect. I acknowledge that I'm really lucky in that aspect. I feel like some people aren't.
Right. So then, okay, before you came out, did you have like trans signs? Are there signs like where you like wearing your hair differently or like?
Oh yeah, I had weave. I had like, girl, it was a mess. I used to have like a purple mullet. Like I used to look crazy. Some people still think I look crazy, but I used to look really crazy.
Right.
I was always wearing like, I used to wear like 7-inch platform, like glitter heels and go to like Kmart. It was horrible.
Wow.
It was a mess. But it wasn't until I got a little older that I was like, okay, let me tone it down and just live my life normally, I guess.
Right,
I don't know.
Did you feel like you needed to like overcompensate, like super glitter, super woman, like you know what I mean? To like
No, that was just me.
before you toned it down. No, you were just
That
like,
was
let's
just
roll.
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for you. I love glitter.
Okay, so
Same.
now, so the process, so now you get on medicine, right? It's
Hormones?
Hormones. Estrogen. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is that process?
Well, you take something that blocks your testosterone and then something that brings you estrogen because you can't make it yourself, obviously, if you're biologically male. And basically, it makes you fatter. It makes you cry a lot.
Wow.
And you have a new love for Lifetime original movies.
Welcome, lady.
That's what
Welcome.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Well, I'm like half kidding, but half not because it really, there is a lot of psychological changes.
I remember Gigi was telling me when she was in the middle of her, I don't know what to call it, transformation, whatever. She was on the medicines, and she's like, yeah, like I can't watch horror movies anymore. She's like, I cry all the time. It like affected her like emotions. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I'm a lot more emotional, but I'm still not like a super emotional person.
Right.
I was just like hard as a rock before, I guess.
Right. So then, okay, what's your idea of cutting off the dick? Because I know some people who are trans
Won't do it.
Right. They say like, oh, I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to wait till I'm 30, because some people change their mind after 30.
Well, here's what people do when they talk about transitioning. They think hormones cut off the penis, and it's like, yeah, that's kind of what you do, but at the end of the day, it takes. Do you guys know what electrolysis is?
No.
Hair removal?
It's the most. It's the only permanent form of hair removal, and it's very, very, very painful.
Right.
You have to do your entire genital area on your scrotum, on your above, below, everything. because it has to be hairless because they turn it inside out. So hair will grow out from the inside, which is horrible.
Oh, man.
Wait, so you'll have a hairy pussy like inside?
Ooh,
Yeah, not even just outside.
That's kind of everything though.
That's sick. That's sick.
It's like my butthole.
My butthole. Okay, sorry. Yeah, and what is a pussy when it's a dick? Break it down.
What's a pussy when it's a dick?
That's a great book title or an album drop.
I mean, listen, I'm not like a scientist.
Right.
Or, but I know that they keep all the nerve endings. It's actually a really amazing surgery. It's actually like a true testament to like how far we progressed just in science. Everything's turned inside out. You keep your nerve endings. So some people can still orgasm afterwards. Yeah.
Okay, so they take, so I'm drawing. Guys, go to fullscreen.com or download the Fullscreen app if you want to see this. Okay, so I'm going to draw my dick.
Can we get a smaller pen?
Very small. Oh. No. Okay. Okay, wait. So your dick is like, bloop. That's generous. Okay, so that's a dick and a little ball, right? Like a flaccid dick, okay? Okay. So now I want a pussy. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
My dad died. I'm ready. Okay. Okay, so now I take that dick and I slice it in half.
I mean, listen, girl, like I said, I'm not a surgeon. but I know that's the gist of what it is. I've never watched it. I'm not that brave.
Oh, really?
But I know there's knives.
So you turn it inside out?
Pretty much.
And I know that you have to wear like a glass dildo for like a while.
To like dilate it?
You have to like dildo yourself for like a year afterwards. Because the body just recognizes it as a wound. So it'll close up like any other if you got like a pencil stuck in your arm. Like it's crazy.
Sign me up for that.
And it's also like so much money, so much pain, so much downtime. I don't have the downtime to be shoving a dildo in my fake pussy for a year. Like,
That's hilarious.
That should be your Instagram bio. I don't have the time to shove a dildo in my fake pussy for a year.
I'll change it. I'll change it.
Wait, okay, so are you not going to do it? Have you talked about this? Have you thought about this? Or do you have like a date in mind? You're like...
A date? No.
On my 30th birthday or something.
No. There's other stuff I want to do, but that is like... I don't have the downtime. I don't want to do that.
But you also probably... Okay, so as a trans woman, girl, person...
Ladyboy.
Hi.
Whatever pronoun you want to go by. Do you feel like... You still like your penis? I feel like a lot of trans people probably hate their penis because it defines them as a man or whatever. But like... You also probably love it because you know how to use it, you know how to come with it.
Well, it's like a comfortability, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's also like I feel like the people who are super, super insecure with their body, they tend to have really strong gender dysphoria, which is the mental illness that makes you transgender. And I did have it to an extent when I was a teenager, but since going on hormones and stuff, it's really alleviated. It's not completely gone. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a trans.
We need to go back to what you just said because that's very interesting. I've never heard that before. So you just said
it's a mental illness.
It's a mental illness. Okay, so here's my question with that. Because I was talking to somebody recently about this. I think we might have been talking on the podcast and I made them cut it out because I'm like, that was too far. Like, so transgender, has nobody really ever said what it is? Because everybody's like, my soul's in a different body. Like, but I'm like,
annoying.
I'm like, but what if you don't believe in God? Then what? So you don't believe in souls. So then what is it? Then I'm like, is it a mental illness? Because technically that might be what it is. But then some people are like, well, is being gay a mental illness? I'm like, maybe. I don't fucking know. Like, none of us know.
But it's so interesting because the same people who get so uptight about that are the same people who, like, wear their other mental illnesses with pride. Like, they'll be like, I have depression, I have this, I have that.
Right.
But it's like when it comes to that, for some reason, there's a taboo against calling it what it is, which I'm sorry, if you're born male and you want to be female and think you're female, like, you have some shit wrong with you. It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean that you're, it doesn't affect the rest of your cognitive ability. Like, you're not stupid. You're not too crazy, but there is something wrong with you.
Interesting. So who said that? Is that well-known? I've never heard that before.
That's in the DSM. Gender dysphoria is a mental illness, and gender dysphoria is what makes a person want to transition and want to change their body to female.
So if somebody says to like a transgender person, "Oh, you have a mental illness," are they're gonna get mad, right?
Most of
them.
It's
like triggering, right?
Most of them, yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Well, I think because you put the illness on it, and it seems like it's like, ugh, you know.
But my whole thing is like there shouldn't be a stigma against mental illness anyway. It's not a choice.
Right.
And if anything, it helped us better understand what being trans is.
Well, okay, so that was my other question because when it comes to this, I remember talking to a trans friend, and they said that before they really transitioned, they had to talk to a therapist. They had to answer all these questions. It was almost like a test. It was like a big thing before they can get their pills. So then I'm like, that sounds like you're talking about an illness. Right?
If you have to go to therapy, something's not right. I mean, my whole thing is like, I don't know. Were they living in California? That person told you that? Oh, that's weird because I didn't have to do therapy. I just got straight to a hormone doctor. And
this was a while ago, though.
Oh, probably. Yeah, things have changed actually. Now that you mention that, but yeah, you have to make sure you're stable because at the end of the day, something that a lot of trans people don't want to talk about is the fact that a lot of people go back.
Okay, that's okay.
And it's so taboo to say that, but people do go back. People,
at 30.
People end up, people can be transitioning in 45 and be like, shit, I made a mistake. And especially if you go through like the big mistake, it's like, then what do you do? So that's a thing.
Well, I was talking to a trans friend and they said, I'm like, why haven't you got your dick? Why don't you have a big pussy? Like, where's the dildo? Show it to me. And they're like, because I'm going to wait till I'm 30 because, number one, there's a chance with the surgery that it will, like, fuck things up and you won't be able to come again, whatever.
Oh,
they're
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, and they're like, but also, some trans people change their mind after 30. Like, it's like a mental thing. It clicks and they want to go back. It's just, I don't want to do anything that I can't go back. And I was like, oh, interesting. Because nobody talks about that.
No one does, but it's a thing, and that's why I'm so adamant against like little kids transitioning. People have tried to convince me otherwise so much. Right. There are transgender kids. I was one of them. I felt different. I felt like, for me, if I would have transitioned at 13, I'd probably be happy right now.
Right.
But you can't open the floodgate for everyone and say that because some will be happy, some won't. Because at the end of the day, you become sterile from transitioning. I can't have babies naturally.
Really? Okay.
No, I can't ejaculate.
Really? What? So how do you come? What happens?
For a while, it was just like...
Like the feeling?
No, when I would come for a while, it was just like, it turned from, like, sperm's obviously white. Right. it turned to, like, a clear fluid, and there was, like, nothing. I was, like, sterile. Okay. And now nothing will ever come out. So,
but you still orgasm.
That would be my ideal dick to suck.
You can still orgasm, but nothing comes out.
What does it feel like? Because I feel like that's the thing with orgasm.
Watery.
Because, like, when I jerk off or come or whatever, sometimes it feels really, really good, and then sometimes it just feels like something shooting out of my dick, and I'm like, well, that felt okay. So if I didn't have that, it would feel like nothing. Do you ever have that? Where, like, you come and it kind of just feels like an itch you just scratched?
the sensation is definitely, like, a less severe.
Interesting.
But I can still enjoy sex. It's not like I don't have anything.
Right.
That would be great. I would get down on a dick that couldn't come. So hard. I hate swallowing. It's so gross.
That's what my boyfriend says.
Yes. Sign me up.
Okay, wait. Okay. Back to children who are trans. Because I have a very strong opinion about this, and I don't really talk about it because I've gotten into fights about it. I feel the same way. I feel like it's almost trendy right now to be a parent, to be like, well, Cindy wants to be a boy, like when she's 4 or 5. Cindy wants to be a boy, so we're going to let her call herself Tom, and like she's going to be this gender and this thing, and like let her go to school in a baseball hat, and like if she wants to take pills, we're going to give her the pills. And I'm just like, like when I was that age, I was wearing towels on my head pretending to be a girl. I was like doing like shows for my mom in drag and shit. If my mom would have been now, maybe she would have been like, oh, well, Shane, he can be trans, because I probably would have been like, cool, I want to be a girl. But I grew out of it, and it was a phase, and every kind of. So I feel like maybe 5% of it is real, but then there's so much of it that are just kids being kids, and then you put them on the pills and shit. And
Absolutely. I mean, to me, the conversation should end with the fact that they become sterile. You really think a 13-year-old can decide to sterilize themselves?
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you're kind of a crazy person.
Right.
That really is the end of it for me. But it's also like there's so many irreversible changes. Like you want your kid to have to, like, if they go back, like, get their tits cut off because they grew tits, or like what are you doing? It's a big thing for me. I think in really severe cases there are young kids who are literally like sneaking in the bathroom trying to cut their dick off.
Yeah, I've heard
I don't think I think maybe like puberty blockers, which is a little different than hormones, are maybe good for that. But the idea of a 13-year-old deciding for the rest of their life what they want now, no.
Well, it is hard too, especially when you're watching YouTube. And, like, I even struggled with this. Like, I went through, like, a period of thinking maybe I was trans and all this shit, dealing with a lot of mental shit.
Oh, wow.
And this was only a few years ago. And partially what was weird about it was watching people, and no offense because I love her, but watching people like Gigi or these YouTubers who are trans and, like, amazing and perfect, have the perfect life, and they're glamorous and shit. And you're watching them do, like, a what's on my phone tag, and their nails are clicking on the phone. It's like ASMR. And all that shit, I'm just like, I want to be that. Like, and if I was a young kid, I'd be like, I want to be her.
Absolutely.
As if I want to be her. And then you think you're trans. And then I've had friends come to me being like, young people being like, I think I'm trans. And I'm like, I don't think I'm like, that's a huge decision. And also I feel like you think about it your whole life. I don't think it's something that pops in your head at 18. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get messages like that too from like 16-year-olds who are like, man, I'm watching your videos and I feel like this might be something I want to do. And I'm like, have you really thought about it before? And they're like, well, I'm going to be honest, not really. And I'm like, no.
Then it's not like veganism. Yeah. It's not like, I think I want to be vegan today. It's like,
come on, Trisha Paytas.
That's what I say. So, okay. Next topic. I have them all written down.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, this is, I've been working on it. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So I just said something I'm going to say is interesting. This is interesting.
Let's do it. It's my thoughts.
So Wendy Williams did something that pissed a bunch of people off. And I'm curious what your thoughts on it, even though I already know what they're going to be. So she had two transgendered people on her show. It was a boy and a girl. And they looked really good. They were like models or actors or something. And then Wendy turned to, I think it was the guy or the girl, one of them, and said like, oh my God, you are serving realness. And everybody went crazy because they're like, "What the fuck is that supposed to mean, Wendy?" Like, we are real. We are women. We are men. People went crazy and came for Wendy. What are your thoughts on it? When people? So, for example, you, like when I saw you, I was like, "Oh, I thought you were right off the top of my head the whole time." And then when I saw a few videos in, I'm like, "Oh, you're trans. I didn't know that." In person, I see you and like you look like a beautiful girl. Mm-hmm. Is that triggering? Like, does that make you mad? Because you're like, "I am a fucking girl," or like, what is your thoughts on that?
I don't get triggered, but. Well, we talked about this a little bit. It's like this whole outrage culture. It's people freaking out over words and freaking out over not knowing how to say things correctly. And honestly, trans people are what? We're not even part of the census. We don't know how many of us there are. But I think it's like 0.3% of the population.
Wow.
You really expect 99.7 to just know exactly what to say, when to say it, how to act, what to refer to you as. It's insane, especially because there's like new rules every week of you can't refer to me this way, but you can say this, but you can't say this. Right. And next year it'll be something different. So it's really annoying to me. So I don't agree with people going after her.
Right. I saw a video of yours that you talked about. You said there's only two genders, and a bunch of people were pissed off about that. I didn't know. This is another thing. I didn't know that this was a thing. And I was talking to my friend who's really liberal. He didn't even know this was a thing. Where there's, how many genders did people say there are? Like hundreds or something?
There are people who literally say millions. I'm not even kidding. People say millions. I've heard 76. It's very specific.
Right. So what is that? Okay, so in my head.
Types of gender?
Okay, yeah. So I thought it was boy and girl. And if you're trans, you want to be one or the other. And like, that's the thing. But now there's more. So can you break it down for me?
They have a gray gender.
What?
Gray gender.
Like 50 Shades?
I don't know what it means. I'm not willing to look into the abyss to really find out what that means. Okay. There's people who call themselves non-binary, which is people who don't think they're either or, which is like, I'll let you figure that out, but you're not a third gender just because you don't know what you are.
Right.
There's all kinds. There's like arrow gender. There's like a huge list. I'll DM it to you. There's a huge list like on Tumblr of like 76 different genders, and they make up with new markers, and it's really insane.
Now, love the hair flip you just did.
Yeah.
By the way, wait. So the gender thing. Now I'm confused. So what is gender? Because I know sex is male or female. Gender is, now people are saying gender is not male or female, right? Or what is gender?
People say that gender is completely separate from sex. They say gender is like the cultural aspect of what you are, and your sex is like pee-pee or vagina.
Right.
To me, that doesn't really flow with me because I feel like there really is just sex, and yes, there are cultural aspects to being one or the other, but that doesn't mean that it's entirely cultural and it's made up by culture, which is what the argument is, which is gender is a social construct.
Right.
I think that culturally there are expectations of gender, but cultures don't make genders. Mm-hmm. That's like whatever you believe in.
Well, my thing and I got into a big fight with my friend about this. We're still friends. It's fine. But I was like annoyed because I'm like, why? Okay. I'm like, people don't want labels, right? Like the goal is that eventually
used to be like that.
Right? Like we won't have labels. Everybody's just a person. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Be whatever the fuck you want to be, right? Wear a clown costume. I don't give a fuck. Just be yourself. But now it's like everybody wants labels and a lot of labels.
A lot of them.
And I'm like, okay. Like, why do you have to be like, oh, I'm a binary gray, whatever, no offense, binary gray, whatever. And you're like, because I'm a boy, but I'm a girl and I want to whatever. Why can't you just be a boy who likes Barbies or a girl who likes train sets or this, that? Why can't you just be yourself and like, why do you have to put 5 labels on it?
Yeah.
I'm curious if that's a fad. Like, I was telling my friend Drew and, we were kind of fighting about it. And I was like, I was like, okay, so I look on Twitter and I see these kids and some of them follow me and like they're very sweet, but like their bio is like, oh, I'm a binary, and there's like a lot of labels, right?
Mm-hmm. They, them.
Right, and I'm like, okay, is this a trend? Is this something that like teenagers are gonna kind of grow out of and be like, oh, remember when I had all these labels? Because they're trying to fit in or find a place to fit in, and they're like, well, I'm this thing, I'm binary, and there's a bunch of binaries on Twitter, so I'm gonna be friends with them.
Mm-hmm.
But is that just us dividing people more? Like, it's very confusing to me.
First of all, I agree. It's dividing people more. And it is a fad. The emails are gone. The trannies are here. That's what it is. Like, all the emo kids, there's a couple left. That really skinny girl on YouTube. But it's like being trans is the new emo.
Interesting. Oh.
That's what I think. Because there's just as many people now. You can't tell me that you can't click on 5 profiles and 3 of them are going to have they, them pronouns. And they're like, that doesn't work like that. So I think it's a fad.
So then I was also thinking like, okay, so if people are very, trying to push this thing of like, oh, you need to use all these proper pronouns and this and that, which listen, I'm going to do whatever people want me to do because
that's me
fine.
too. People.
But like, at what point, like, okay, I remember watching one of these videos from this person who said they were multiple genders and they were talking about what they want from the world. And they're like, oh, if I'm at a restaurant, I want the first thing the waiter says to me to be, what pronoun do you go by?
Oh, get out of here.
So
fucking food, you asshole.
That sounds crazy,
They want
right?
water or you want ice.
Thank you. I can't.
Fucktards.
I don't want to live in that world.
I don't either.
I don't want to live in that world.
What pronoun
there was,
should I use?
I tweeted this the other day. There was like in front of a Whole Foods store, there was like a sign that said that you can't use gendered language in the store. You have to call people person or persons or they or them, but you can't say he or she because it might offend a trans person. Come to find out, it was actually a restaurant in Australia named Whole Foods as well. But I tweeted out, and then Whole Foods tweeted back like, "This isn't our restaurant." It's like, okay, I'm still mad at you for like the artichoke in the water thing, but like, but you're free on that one. So it's just getting really insane. And I feel like it discredits actual trans people because it makes us all look insane. And it removes the medical aspect, which being transgender is a medical diagnosis. You get there through whatever you want, self-discovery or whatever, but it's also, doctors and endocrinologists and therapists and stuff like that. And none of these people who claim to be trans who use like they and them and all that, they never actually transition.
Interesting.
And I don't think that you necessarily have to transition
Do
to
they
be
put
trans,
the label on it to transition? Is that their transition? Rather than doing it physically and going through all the treatments, and they put the label on it and I transition.
They call it I socially transition. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be at the doctor's office sticking my needle in the thigh with some estrogen, and you can keep preventing that.
It is interesting because a lot of the kids that follow me and I'll see them at meet and greets and they say like, oh, I came out as binary and all these terms. And of course I'm going to like,
be nice
to them and support them because that's sweet and whatever. But it is something where I'm like, oh, is this just like their way of dealing with their issues is like putting labels, which I guess that's fine. But it is kind of, I think the hardcore people are taking it to like, if you don't use those terms, you're offensive. You're this, you're that. What's the word? Like, not racist, but like, what's the word for
transphobic?
Like, transphobic. I'm transphobic because I don't know these terms. Like, girl, I don't know any of these terms. I just learned these terms literally today. I didn't know what a gray was. But like, am I ignorant for not knowing that? I don't know.
Exactly. And some people would say you are. I remember in, I think, January of this year, there was like a law passed in New York, or it was going to be passed or something, where they would literally fine businesses like $250K if they misgendered one of their employees, which is so insane. But it included like they and them pronouns and Z and Zer pronouns. It wasn't just he and she.
Z and who?
Those are like my other pronouns, Z and Zer. I just call it like Invader Zim. I don't know. But that's crazy, and I feel like it makes trans people look really bad that you're gonna find businesses and put them under for something that small. I mean, I don't give a fuck if someone accidentally calls me he.
Right.
It doesn't really happen anymore, but I remember I worked at a clothing store last March, and I had a coworker who was a bitch, and she kept calling me he on purpose. But I wasn't like calling HR and freaking out because it's like, what is she really? She's just talking.
Right.
She's not putting her hands on me.
Well, I think that's an interesting thing you said in a video that I really responded to. You said, as trans people, we shouldn't be getting so offended. We should have thicker skin than everybody else because we've had to go through so much. So it is interesting that some of these trans people online are so offended by everything, which makes me think like, why? Like you said, you've been through so much. Like you're not offended by somebody accidentally calling you him. Who gives a fuck? Literally, who cares?
It really should be the opposite. If you don't have thick skin, don't transition.
Right.
Don't live your life this way if you have thin skin. Right. Because you'll be. It sounds dark to joke about, but like there's a lot of suicide in the trans community, and I feel like it's because a lot of people go into it and they expect the world to transition with them, and it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Right. So just be strong. Don't be weak.
Okay,
and
let's
stop
move
giving
on.
a fuck what other people think. And if you want to live your life and be who you are, and stop,
That's how it used to be.
Expecting everything else from everybody else.
It used to be, not caring what people say, and I don't want labels. Now it's the opposite.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so the social justice warrior thing, which I've known what that is, but I didn't know what SJW was because I didn't put that shit together. I was like, what is an SJW?
Learn your acronym.
Put that shit together.
Love a good acronym.
So that whole situation. So you've made videos responding to a lot of these people. Are these people real? Some of these people are. I mean,
they're real. They're real.
Some of these people are crazy. Okay, so the girl. Now I'm going to get in trouble. The person.
Girl, just say. Who cares?
Well, the person.
I already probably misgendered them.
Glasses. Short hair.
Barb?
In like a bedroom. Looks like a dorm room.
Milo Stewart.
Is that the name?
Yeah.
So you did a video reacting to that person. And then I kind of fell down a hole of that person, and I was like, "Is this?"
It's truly a hole, isn't it?
Is it? It's
no pun intended. It's like a dark
hole.
hole, and the more videos you watch, the more just bizarre it gets.
Right.
How she says that birthdays are triggering.
Wait, so
and
is it she, or I don't know? Do they say?
I say she.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be a bitch, but this person looks completely female, doesn't attempt to look male in any way, doesn't
Right.
transition. It's like you're just saying that you're trans, which is annoying.
Right. Okay. So this person makes these videos. Now, I don't even, like birthdays are triggering? Is that what?
She made a video talking about how birthdays and people celebrating birthdays are predatory and creepy.
Predatory? It's a fucking birthday.
Wait, what does that mean? How? What?
Ask her. I don't know. Bring her
We
on.
should get her on this show, bitch. She's actually here.
She walks in. Y'all set me up.
Yeah.
Everyone I responded to is in the thing. Oh, girl.
Every single person pops out. Bachelor #1.
You should bring me and Milo and we can debate.
Oh my
Because I
God.
debated Milo in a stream and she ended up saying something about colonialism and how I'm triggering and got out. I don't know. something colonialism, you're triggering. I'm out. Bye.
Interesting. Oh my God. Okay. So now let's move on to fat acceptance, because this video, because as a former big fat person.
You said you liked the video.
I loved it because what you said was so true. Because here's the thing. Once again, I'm all about people being themselves. Fucking live your fucking life. But
Do it.
there is a thing about embrace your big body. Like, fat is beautiful. All this stuff. And that's true. I'm attracted to fat people, like that I am, whatever. But I also know that it's unhealthy. And I know that, like, you know, when I was fat, like, yeah, I wanted to love myself, but I also wanted to lose weight because I wanted to not have diabetes because I was on the cuff. So it's like this thing of like, is it bad to keep putting out this thing of like, being fat's fine, being fat's fine, being fat's fine, when it's not healthy? That was your argument.
Yeah, and then there's fat and then there's obese.
Right.
Like the people that I did a response video to, it was like a collab video between a bunch of like really obese women. Really obese women.
Sorry, the way she's... the way you like, was like, okay, right.
They're just really off the hook and off the scale, quite literally. And it was really bizarre because they live in this world of no one can criticize my health.
Right.
One of them even said like that they hate when their family members even bring it up. And I'm like, you're not going to live to 50. Yeah. She was huge.
Right. We were kind of talking about that earlier.
And it's not like, oh, you fat, disgusting. It's more like girl, you need to get it together and listen to your mother who's crying and trying to get you to, you know, live a better life. You don't have to be skinny. But can we not be like that?
I know it is. And you know, there are YouTubers I've seen who talk about body acceptance, but they also at the same time they're like, but I am trying to lose weight. So that I get.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I'm just like, girl.
The people who live in that and they and the worst is like you can almost see it in their eyes. They're not happy. Mm-hmm. They're very unhappy.
That's the thing too, is that's interesting. And I feel okay talking about it. But you know, when I was fat, I was miserable. I mean, I'm still miserable, but I was like miserable about being fat, and I would like pretend like I was fine, but I wasn't. And I know other fat people are the same way. Like they're the funny one. They're this, but there's so much pain behind them. And any this sounds crazy, but any fat person you talk to, any of these fat acceptance people who are like, being big is beautiful, I love my fat body, whatever. If you say one thing to them about like, but don't you think about wanting to lose weight? If you trigger that, they'll cry. They'll cry. Because I cried. So it's like, it's a doctor. If a doctor says anything to them about their health, they'll cry. Because they do internally know, like, this isn't healthy.
No.
And I don't want to do this.
I liken it, it's very different, but I liken it to before I transitioned, people to ask me if I'm trans, because I presented almost just like this before I transitioned.
Right.
Things have changed, obviously, but some of it hasn't. People would be like, are you trans? And I would get like defensive, and I would sometimes get really upset, like, why would you ask it? Like, I'm just me, you don't have to do that. But in my mind, I was like, fuck, I am.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. And honestly, a lot of people really hated that video that I did.
Really?
Yeah, because that was like my pinned tweet when you tweeted about me. And so part of the outrage was like, look at this person talking about fat people. And it's like, I wasn't talking about fat people. First of all, it's more like obese people. And it's more like, just get it together. That's it. Just get it together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can do it.
Yeah. Okay, so now Black Lives Matter. Okay.
Speaking of getting me in trouble, this was the one where I was doxxed online for talking about it. Yeah, my family got a bunch of death threats. It was crazy.
Yeah, I went through something similar. Well, I'm not even going to say what I was talking about, but yeah, I went through the same thing. Ooh, not good.
It happened.
But then you kept making videos about it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I think my next video after that one was another one.
Yeah, it was another one. Okay, so I want to break this down because people hearing that, okay, your video title was Black Lives Matter is trash. So people hearing that, they're instantly mad. I was instantly like, holy fuck, what is she going to be talking about?
Yeah.
Then you broke down, it was interesting. You broke down, I don't know if I agree, but you broke down a lot of interesting points. So like, let's break it down for people who haven't seen your video.
Okay.
So give me some points.
That one was, I think I was responding to about like them crashing the vigil for Orlando, right?
Well, Black Lives Matter. So let's break down Black Lives Matter in general, because I think a lot of people know what it is because it's a hashtag, but probably don't know what it actually is. So what actually is it?
Okay, well, it's obviously a movement that's in the news practically every week. It's supposed to be about fighting for equality for Black people, talking about unarmed Black people shot by the police. That's really their main message. And for me, it's about separating the message from the way it's actually manifested in the actions of the people who support the group.
Right.
And what we see each and every time that an event happens, whether the person was armed or not, you see cities being burned, you see all kinds of crazy shit. I remember last time in Charlotte, there was like literally tons of people out on the street, and they were literally attacking white people, pulling them out of their cars, saying, she's white, get her.
Wow.
And that's what happened. So obviously I support the message.
Right.
I think you'd be a shitty person not to,
Right.
but it's about separating that from the way it actually manifests.
Right.
And I think that it's bred a lot of people to have an adversarial relationship with white people, which I think is the opposite of what we want when race relations right now are terrible, to be honest. Right. So I think it's a bit contradictory to what it wants sometimes.
I get that. I mean, because I feel like, I remember when that whole, this is totally not, what's the word?
Politically correct?
No, it doesn't relate completely. But anytime one of those things, like It Gets Better campaign or any of those things, I feel like it turns into, like, we all agree with the message, but then the way it's handled is
into something else.
It turns into something else, and the Black Lives Matter is interesting. I can't comment too much on it because I'm not too up to date with everything that's happened, but it is interesting that you showed a video of somebody crashing a Black Lives Matter, or no, crashing a
funeral.
There was a vigil after the Orlando shootings of the gay nightclub, and there were people up there talking about maybe they knew someone that got shot, got killed, and a Black Lives Matter activist jumped on stage and was basically like, so I'm going to tell you guys something, and you might not understand because you're white, and was making it all about Black Lives Matter, and it's like, honey, we can have that talk, but this is about the people who are just shot, and these people are mourning, and it was, so that's why I responded, because it enraged me. It was so mad.
Do you think, okay, so then the devil's advocate, or not, maybe not the devil's advocate, but like the opposing opinion to that is, well, do you think that somebody like that who crashed that vigil, and then there are some of the loud ones who are making it look bad, do you think that's a small percentage of Black Lives Matter, and that they're just making it look bad?
I think there's plenty of amazing people who wear the hashtag and who support the movement and support the cause. But at the same time, I don't think that negates the amount of shitty things that have happened as a result of it. I mean, literally every single time there's an event, the city gets burned, people get hurt, people get killed, people get shot.
Right.
And it's just the way it manifests. I don't agree with that.
Interesting. Have you had anybody on YouTube or even a celebrity or anybody like really oppose you and be like, you were fucking wrong? Has anybody made like a video about you?
Cher blocked me.
Cher?
Like the singer?
Like Cher.
What?
Cher blocked me.
Why?
No, listen, okay, one of my friends like retweeted her the other day, and you see a retweet and it's blocked, there's like a gray thing.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, is that the Cher? So I clicked it and I was like, why does Cher have me blocked? And so I tweeted about it. I was like, guys, Cher has me blocked. This is amazing. This is so weird. I've never talked to her. And then people started tweeting her like, why'd you block Blaire White? And she was like, some people are assholes and it's good to know who your enemy is. And then something else about like, something really strange. Because if you've seen her tweet, she's like off the rocker.
Yeah.
But I'm going to print out her tweet and frame it in my house because Cher blocked me.
That's crazy. So she had seen your videos. I wonder which one pissed her off.
Maybe she saw a tweet, maybe she saw a video. I don't know.
But that's really interesting, especially since Chaz, has transitioned.
I mean,
and, it's all like.
Well, she has a history with the trannies. She kicked her son out for being trans.
That's true too.
So clearly,
what does the term trans retarded mean? Because I saw that as a video title.
That was just a joke.
Oh. It was in your video
That was not
title.
a real joke. That was just a joke. That was me making fun of what we were talking about earlier, the people who act like being trans is so many things other than what it actually is.
Right.
So I just called it trans retarded.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. What else?
That one got me in trouble too. That was a big one.
I gotta see that. What are your thoughts on trans bathrooms?
As in, like, should we be able to use the regular bathrooms, or are you asking me about like a separate bathroom?
Yeah. So the whole thing going on that's been going on for a while is places like I think it was like Target.
North Carolina.
Yeah, there's things where they want like a separate bathroom. There needs to be like a gender neutral bathroom. That this is not. What are your? And like the restaurant I go to all the time now, there's a woman's bathroom and then there's like a both bathroom. And listen, I'm all about it.
There's always been a both bathroom.
No, but there's no men's. So it's kind of weird. So like
Wait, is it women's and a both?
Yeah, so they turned the men's bathroom into a both bathroom. And I'm like, damn, girls got 2 bathrooms now. And then I was like,
That's
it's probably a
whack,
trans
Right?
thing.
Especially since the women's bathrooms are better. You don't have those stinky urinals.
I know. Okay, so what are your thoughts on that? Do you think there should be a trans bathroom? Do you think that that's very serious? We need it right now?
I'm a bit of a libertarian in the sense that I think that businesses can do what they want. I'm against forcing businesses to add transgender bathrooms because a lot of them can't afford it. Like, I remember one of the colleges in my town, like, had to do some huge fundraiser thing because people were pressuring them to, like, make a transgender bathroom. And they're like, we don't really have the money, so we're going to need people to pitch in. I think it can really put businesses under, forcing them to do that.
Yeah.
Also, I don't need a special bathroom.
Right.
Like, I've never had issue, even before I transitioned, even with purple mullet. I could walk into the women's bathroom, no problem, and it wasn't a thing. I think really both sides of that made it something other than what it was. I think the far right Republicans really went with like the rape hysteria, like there's men in the bathroom going to rape your kids, and that was annoying as shit because there's quite literally 0 instances of that happening.
Right.
Quite literally 0. There's very rarely 0 of anything, but there was 0 of that. And then the far leftists were like, you have to push for special bathrooms. And it's like, okay, can we just meet in the middle and just agree the bathrooms are fine the way they are?
Like, it's a toilet. Can we all just piss and poop in it?
Yeah, and the argument is that some trans people don't feel safe in the bathrooms. And I get that, but in my opinion, carry a taser or something, I don't know. I really don't think it's as big of a problem as people make it out to be. I really don't. Some people obviously have problems. I remember there's like a video of McDonald's of like someone dragging out like a trans girl by her hair, like a woman, and I felt really bad. But even then I was like, that could have happened in front of anywhere, really. I mean, just protect yourself the best you can. I don't know.
Okay, wait. Caitlyn Jenner. Because I don't think you've really talked about her too much on your channel. So here's my question. So my question with the Caitlyn Jenner situation is I feel like Caitlyn. Everybody's on the same page where we're kind of like, oh God, Caitlyn fucking Jenner can't. She's a mess. She's a monster. But so her whole thing that gets her in trouble is that she doesn't know that much about the trans community, but also that she puts like the physical stuff first. Like, oh, I want hair, I want makeup, I want to, I don't want people to think I'm a man in a dress. Then, you know, on the other side, she also like doesn't agree with gay marriage. Like, there's a lot of confusing things with her. So part of me is like, oh, maybe you agree with her on some stuff because you also kind of talk about you should physically try to look like the gender.
I'm about to get in trouble.
Uh-oh. Ooh, give it to me.
I think she's a crossdresser who had the money to buy tits. Like, I'm just being real.
Okay, break it down.
Okay, so
why haven't you made that video? Right? Call it Caitlyn Jenner.
I'm excited I had like an interview or something, but like part of being trans is I have some interactions with really girls who
just like threw up and choked.
When the shade hits you. Choked.
Took a minute.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, part of being trans is I've had some interactions with like really creepy crossdressers who like fetishize who like they like fetishize men turning into women, and it's like a sexual thing for them. And it's gross. Caitlyn, in a lot of ways, I don't know her obviously, but from what I've seen, which is quite a lot, I've been interested to look at her stuff because she's out there. Yeah. She resembles those people so much.
Really?
The people who like the way she puts clothes in the closet and touches them. Like, this is my gown, and the fact that she just like, I know people struggle with it, but to do it at like 60, I think that she's a crossdresser. It's just, she had the money to get a better face and some tits, and that's what she did. Right. But it's just the way she behaves, and she doesn't work on her voice. It's almost like she's content with just having the boobs and the face because it's like a fetish for her. Right. I don't think it's really like she's actually trans.
Well, some things that a lot of people said,
horrible,
including, well, I heard some inside information. I don't remember from who, but they said that Bruce, at the time before Caitlyn, Bruce was a crossdresser, and Chris Jenner knew about it. Yeah, was okay with it. Was like, listen, like if you want to do that, like chill, like do it at night when the kids aren't home or whatever.
Or when you're traveling, or
but
in
he was
hotel.
doing that for years, years, like what, 40 years or something, and then finally was like, oh, I'm going to be trans, which is interesting because I'm like, wow, that took a long. Like people like you say, like I knew at 5, I wanted to trans at 17, like you know, and I guess it was a different time, so maybe he couldn't. Yeah. But I also feel like if it's that pressing, like wouldn't it take you? But I don't know.
It was a different time, but there were trannies back then,
right?
There was quite a lot. I think the first training was like, well, the first person to get surgery was in like 1920 or something like that. Like it's been a thing.
Right.
I guess part of it is just my own experience. I can't fathom waiting till 60.
Right.
I was terrified hitting 18. I was like, okay, this hair is gonna start receding. Shit's gonna
right.
Shit's gonna go south. I need to do something.
Right.
So I guess part of it's just my experience. But she's also just creepy. I don't know. Her voice.
Yeah. My problem with Caitlyn is just, okay, if you are transgender and you're 60 and you're coming out and you're going to be kind of the icon for all trans people, which trans people are not happy about, by the way,
No.
obviously. So, but do your research, right? Like, she didn't do any. Like, when on her reality show, the whole time the other bitches were just like, girl, you don't know anything.
I know.
Like, girl, what? And she's just like, yeah, like, or no, sorry, yeah. She's just like, she knew nothing about the issues. She knew nothing. And they're like, oh, it's because she's rich. I'm like, no, maybe it's because she doesn't care enough to do the research.
Maybe it's because she's just a cross-dresser. And this has never affected her.
I have a question. When you're transgender, do you think, like, because I haven't heard Caitlyn Jenner necessarily come out in terms of, like, what she likes in terms of another gender or sex, or like I like guys, I like girls, I'm a lesbian, or whatever.
I have.
So, like, I'm wondering if, like,
women,
does that kind of define a cross-dresser from a transgender person as well?
No. People can be attracted to whoever they're attracted to. I know a lot of trans women who like girls, and that's just what they are.
Okay, so my last question. Let's get one more. Okay, we talked about Black Lives Matter. We talked about trans issues. We talked about trans children. We talked about fat acceptance. Is there any other hot topic that we have not touched? Is there anything you're passionate about?
I feel like we can talk about sex or something. I just had that vibe.
Do you want to talk about sex? We can talk about it. How do you fuck? What's your jam? Can I guess?
Yeah. No, just look me up. Guess.
Okay. Are those... Okay, wait. Can we talk about your boobs?
Sure.
Have you had surgeries?
No, it's just hormones so far.
What?
But I'm going to get that done. I'm going to get that done.
Wait, how does that work? So it just grows like... You grow boobs. Mm-hmm. And they feel they're like boob. They look like boobs. I'm turning into Winnie.
Wait, you got like a
girl, you saw me real.
You got a nice A going on, B.
It's like an A.
How long did it take to grow those?
I've been on hormones for like a year and a half. Wow. Yeah, it's kind of just like you go through a second puberty. And
interesting. So what does it do to like your dick?
It makes it a little smaller.
Really?
Yeah.
Smaller when it's flaccid or smaller when it's hard?
Both.
Interesting. How much smaller?
I don't know. I think it's different for everyone. Right. Interesting though, when you get the surgery to get the fake vagina, the length of your dick.
Is that how long your like cavern is?
Yeah, it actually is how much depth you're gonna have and how big of a dick you can take.
I couldn't fuck them. I couldn't take it. Wait, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but penises get smaller. Penis gets softer. I guess. Actually, skin everywhere gets softer, but.
Wow. Okay, so you're sexually choice. So you have a boyfriend. Is this
public? He's in the room, but he was
knowledge?
like, "Do not call me on. I'm not going to call him on." He was like, "Do not call me on." I was like, "Oh man."
Well, I saw him backstage. Very sweet, very different than what I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting because he's like sweet, like a touch nerdy. Had a flannel shirt, manly. Like it was definitely in my head. Right, beard. In my head, I saw you with either like a big fat,
come on, chubby Jason,
fat, hairy, like yeah, bitch, like that. Or I saw you with like kind of like a really small Twinkie emo guy.
So I can push around.
Yeah. Because I pictured you fucking, like you're fucking them and
like whipping the
top.
Weave just bam.
Oh Lord. Yeah. No, I'm actually like sexually pretty submissive.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, everywhere else I'm very though like pushing him around a little bit. It's mean. I'm not too bad though. I'm getting better.
Interesting. Now, when did you... Okay, so when you realized you were trans, and did you start having sex right away? Did you just live your life as a gay man? Like, what was that?
I never, ever... Because I told you I presented female still before I transitioned. It wasn't really all of this, but it was something. I've never had, like, gay men hit on me, like, ever. They just never... Because gay men are attracted to, like, masculinity, and they're attracted to the big, fat, hairy men you're talking about. So I've never had gay men come on to me. It's always been straight guys or like sexually confused guys.
So your boyfriend now, what does he identify as?
Straight. It's just the easiest word. Yeah, because he's never been with a man. He's never been with another trans person. He's only been with women. And then he met me and was like, "You're cool."
How'd you guys meet?
Yeah.
We met online. Met online a year and a half ago. And then about like 4 months ago, we moved in together.
Wow.
He came from Missouri, moved him all the way here.
So what was the first sexual situation like? Was it kind of like a thing where he's like, okay, so I know what you got. I haven't seen it yet. Like, I've never done this before.
I don't play any games.
Like, knew right up front?
I don't play any games. If I'm even going to meet you, like a man, anyone else, it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know I'm trans, and you know I have a dick.
Right.
nothing else because you're not putting your hands on me because you're mad, no surprises. And if you don't want it, then I'll just find someone else. Right. Although I will say, I feel like so many people think that like dating as a trans person is really hard. And I've never found it to be the case, ever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So then take me through that first like night.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I've never been like a thought.
Okay. That hoe over there, right?
Yeah, that. But we had sex like on the first night.
Girl, you gotta get it in when you can.
It wasn't really, I don't remember most of it. It was I was very nervous to meet it. We met in Chicago, like in a hotel.
How long were you talking before you guys actually met in person?
Maybe like 7 months.
Okay, so that's like, that's not being a hoe girl. That's just being like, let's get to it.
Yeah.
I guess so.
You know?
Maybe I like to think I'm a little classy.
It's not like you met him last Thursday and then just sat on it. You know what I mean? Like,
jumped on
you had 7 months. Exactly. You cool.
Yeah. It was like weird for me to do on the first day, but I don't know. We had sex. I'm not super shy about my penis, to be honest. Like, I'm more like neutral about it. Like, some people talk about how when they have sex, they like hide it or like hate it, or some guys are like tuck it away, but it wasn't. It was never awkward like that for me.
So
I don't
did
know.
he know what to do with it?
No.
So like, is he like fucking you and like knows to jerk you off while he's fucking you, or are you like, I'll jerk myself off while you fuck me?
There are a lot of instructions. He didn't know what to do.
Right.
Because
how would you?
How would he? He's only been with biological women.
Interesting, but it went good.
Yeah.
And then he learned.
He had to learn some things, and some things were a little painful for a few times because I was like, okay, but it got better.
All right, it gets better.
It gets better, movement.
Oh God, well, I just love you. Can you come back on our show sometime?
Yes,
please.
Your honesty is great.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
Like, you're very smart and just like acronyms, girl. You got them all.
Learn your acronyms.
Even if you don't agree with some of the shit she says, I do appreciate that you're no filter, you speak your mind, and you don't really care if it causes an uproar. Because we honestly think we need more of that. I'm so tired of everybody being so fucking sensitive. I already know I'm going to get a million tweets from everybody being like, Shane, I'm pissed, and I was a fan, and now I'm not, because you said bi gender and all this shit.
That happened last time when you tweeted about me. People went ham.
Yeah. But it's
crazy.
But I'm tired of it, because when I started YouTube back in 2008, you could say whatever the fuck you wanted, and now you literally can't say
anything. That's what I'm saying. It used to be so different. Yeah. And the YouTubers I used to watch, because I only started this 9 months ago, but the ones I used to watch, they were like you. They were just like saying whatever they want. It didn't have to be politically correct. Right. And now it's like you have a horde after you if you say anything wrong.
Anytime. I literally made, so it's like I can't make jokes about pop stars because then they're stand-em or whatever the fuck it's called.
Twitter is cancer.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like, do you have Twitter?
Uh-huh.
It's like all the Twitter accounts, like all their profile pictures are like Ariana Grande or Lady Gaga.
Stan, they call it?
Stan.
Okay.
It's like a super fan, I guess.
Yeah. Oh. I even get it when I made a video saying I didn't like Chick-fil-A, and then the Chick-fil-A stands came to me. And I'm like, really?
There are Chick-fil-A stands?
Yes. They have nuggets as their profile. I can't, I'm like, I can't do this. I can't speak my mind.
Holy shit. Chill the fuck out, man. Smoke some weed and get over yourselves.
Right. Perfect.
Everybody.
Guys, go follow Blaire White everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. And if you're curious, go to her videos, watch them. They're very interesting, even if you don't agree. Very interesting. And don't fucking come for all of us. Or do come for, I don't care.
Come at me, queen.
Go to her. Go to Jess. I'm not in the mood.
I don't give no fucks. Come at me, queen.
All right, you guys. Hope you have fun talking with us. We have fun talking with you. I'm going to go... Never mind. Let's see how deep my pussy is.
Yeah.
Not very.
He's ready.
Fucking ready. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.